How you doing? Chris Ruano here, Venture Athlete. What I'm going to go over today is some Sandbag kettlebells, how to use them versus a regular kettlebell that you're probably used to using, how well they work, and just a little bit of a hack on how to hold them that'll probably help you out. So right here I have a 25 pound, it's loaded with 25 pounds of sand, Sandbag kettlebell, a 35 pound and a 40 pound, loaded with 40 pounds. This one's their newer style with the zipper. You load it up and it'll zip shut, as opposed to their older style. Load it up, roll it down and clip it. I haven't had any problems with the old one, but I do like the newer one much better with the zipper. I like how that works. So I'm going to be now go over how we hold them and how that 35 pound regular steel kettlebell works versus the Sandbag kettlebell. So I'll get these others out of the way. All right, so a 35 pound Sandbag kettlebell versus the 35 pound steel. When you're typically holding the steel, what I noticed is when you hold it firmly, it's going to hit you higher up in the forearm. And then with the Sandbag kettlebell, because of the slack, it's going to hit you a lot farther down on the forearm than maybe you're used to. And I'll show you that. So, and for if you're kind of newer to holding a kettlebell, when we hold the kettlebell, you're going to try to put the bar right here on the longest part of your palm, from the meaty part all the way up towards your finger, kind of at a diagonal. But you're going to have the most surface area touching that metal as opposed to sideways. So when you grasp that, get a good grip. And when you're in the rack position, you don't want to have your wrist broken and just letting it rest. So nice, straight, solid forearm through the wrist, holding it tight. And you can see when I'm holding this iron kettlebell, it hits me pretty high up on the forearm, but it's nice and solid. It doesn't move. I don't have a lot of slack pulling it back. So that's with the iron kettlebell. Now, when we're holding the 35 pound sand kettlebell, you can see when I try to keep my wrist firm, it's hitting me so far down low on the elbow that it makes it really hard to try to get in that position, or harder I should say, which isn't that bad. It's a little more challenging. But again, if you're used to doing motions with the iron kettlebell, you'd like it to be consistent. So the workaround I had for that, instead of grabbing it on the handle, what works best is if you take up more slack by grabbing it sideways. You're going to end up with a little bit of a ball there where your hand is, but just by grabbing it this way and getting a good grip, when I rack it in this position, now it's hitting me higher up in the forearm. It's not down here on my elbow. So it's this high, and I can hold that front rack. I can hold it overhead in this position. Also, it's comfortable on the forearm for doing Turkish get-ups or anything overhead, and you can still swing it in this position as well. So one more thing I'd like to show you is using fat grips, which I found is even better because of the small diameter of the webbing. You can do all the movements that you're used to doing with the kettlebell. They are great. You can throw them, you can drag them. Again, you can reverse shot tosses. You can chuck them on asphalt, and you're not worried about shattering something like the iron or wrecking your surface. So these are still great. They're way more versatile. These sand kettlebells are portable. You can take them anywhere. So let me show you in just a sec how to use those fat grips.